Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks. Today, I got a very special video for you guys. We are going to be giving you 8 Yankee trade targets for this offseason. Obviously, the Yankees need to do a lot this offseason, whether it be in free agency or via the trade market. So let's get right into it. Up first, we have Scott Barlow. Was started the season with the Royals, was then traded to the San Diego Padres. He's 30 years old. He's a reliever in 2023 in 63 games. He was 2-8, posted 4.37 ERA in 68 innings, and racked up 79 strikeouts. He is in the final year of his contract. He's going to be a free agent in 2025. And he's been linked to the Yankees for a couple years now. A lot of people think he'd be a good fit for the Yankees in that bullpen. You never have enough pitching. You know, the Padres are kind of in an interesting spot, how they want to go about things, how they want to compete, or if they're going to compete in 2024. And I feel like if the Yankees made a solid offer, they could go in there and get Scott Barlow, which would be some nice depth and, you know, maybe work with Matt Blake. Maybe it could be a really effective pitcher for the Yankees.
At number 7, we have Daniel Bard of the Colorado Rockies. He has one more year left on his contract. He's a reliever, and he's making almost $10 million. So if I'm the Rockies, you're not going to be a competitive team in 2024. You're probably looking to get rid of this guy. And I think the Yankees could get him for a pretty good price. He's nothing amazing, but he is definitely a consistent reliever. And Yankees, you know, you can really never have too many relievers. Yankees are losing a few guys, Wandy. So I don't think it could hurt to add another solid righty in your bullpen. And I also like the idea of him working with Matt Blake and maybe unlocking something because he has had pretty good seasons. I mean, 2022, he was dominant.
At number 6, we have probably a surprising one, Alex Verdugo. He's 27 years old. This season, 546 at-bats, had 264, hit 13 home runs, 54 RBIs, and posted 745 OPS. He is in the final year of his contract, going to be a free agent in 2025. And Alex Verdugo, I guess, would be a good fit for the Yankees in the outfield. You obviously have the short porch. The power numbers would go up. I think he'd complement Anthony Rizzo in the middle of the lineup very well. And the only reason I say this is because over the near the trade deadline last year, the Yankees actually had talks with the Red Sox about a potential trade with Alex Verdugo. And I think the Red Sox wanted Clark Schmidt or something like that. It would be a really rare trade for the Yankees and Red Sox to make, a trade of this magnitude to happen before the season, especially both teams, you know, want to compete. It would be really rare. I'd be really surprised if it happened. But just because they had talks over the offseason, you know, maybe something happens. Maybe they find a really beneficial deal for both sides. I don't think either team is going to overpay for either one of the players, but you know, who knows? Maybe it happens. I'd be very surprised, but it certainly would be interesting. And it's kind of crazy to think about.
At number 5, we have Lars Nootbaar of the St. Louis Cardinals, outfielder, bats left, throws right. And there was talk about this guy at the trade deadline a little bit. Nothing happened. He ended up staying with the Cardinals. This guy has 4 years left on his contract. So if you trade for him, it would be kind of a big deal. And he's also, in his first 3 seasons, put up very, very nice numbers. And he only seems on the uphill trajectory. So trading for a guy like this, he's not going to be cheap. But if you pull the trigger, you're kind of setting yourself up and setting really your outfield up for the next 4 or 5 years between Dominguez, Nootbaar, Judge. So it would be cool, and it would really lock in some things.
Next up, we have Aaron Bummer, 30 years old, reliever for the Chicago White Sox. And this season, he had the worst season of his career. He was 5-5 with a 6.79 ERA in 58.1 innings, 78 strikeouts, opposed to a 1.53 WHIP. He had a really bad year, but you know, he is a left-handed reliever. Obviously, the Yankees need some left-handed bullpen help in that bullpen. and it could have just been a fluke year. Obviously, we know the everything that's happened with the White Sox organization, especially the last 2 years. It's been really, really dysfunctional. It seems like an awful place to play. And the last 2 years, prior to this year, Bummer had a really good season. I mean, in 2022, he posted a 2.36 ERA, and he does have some control. He has 2 years left to control, and then he's a free agent in 2027. So look, if you bring in Bummer, works with Matt Blake in the lab, who knows? Maybe he could be a really effective pitcher for the Yankees, coming out there from the left side, being able to face lefties, because the Yankees do need help in that avenue. And I look at, I think it's kind of similar maybe to Lou Trevino with the Athletics, who was just not having a good season, came over to the Yankees and started playing pretty well. Obviously didn't pitch last year. But yeah, Bummer throws a lot of sinkers. It seems like he would work for the Yankees.
At number 3, we have Logan Gilbert of the Seattle Mariners. He's a starting pitcher, and this guy's has a lot of talent. I think he's just yet to really break out. Although, if you traded for him and this guy worked out, I mean, you could really be setting your rotation up very nicely for years to come. He has 4 years left until he's a free agent. And, he's put together solid seasons. If you trade for him and he does what he's been doing, you'll take that. He's a 3-4 starter. Although this guy is still so young, his velocity can get up there. I really think it'd be I wouldn't say a gamble, but more of like a safe move with a really high upside. Of course, he's going to cost a lot, but I mean, Yankees do have prospects to spare.
Up next, we have Brendan Donovan, and he's 26 years old, and he would be a really, really good fit for the Yankees. In 2023, he batted 284 with 11 home runs, 34 RBIs, and posted a 787 OPS. He's a utility guy, bats from the left side of the plate, plays all over second base, first base, you name it. He would be a really, really solid pickup for the Yankees. Only 26 years old, has plenty of years of control, not a unrestricted free agent until 2028. So he would be really good, a really good pickup for the Yankees. You'd think he'd only get better, and he'd be their utility player for years to come. The thing is, I think the Yankees would have to give up a lot to get him. Is it worth it with the other options out there? I don't know. But just speaking from a player standpoint, Brendan Donovan would be a perfect fit for the New York Yankees.
At number 1, we have Juan Soto. And of course, with every year, this guy's name is going to float around. But look, it's his last year under contract with the Padres. And he is basically everything the Yankees are missing, besides maybe the defense. I mean, his defense isn't bad, but he is just an absolute beast of a hitter, a lefty. Now, again, he is a free agent in 2025. So if you trade for him and you give up a ton of prospects, which you would have to do, it'd be a lot for 1 year. Although I think you trade for him with the idea of extending him. And, Juan Soto is just an amazing player. I there's some stat. His on base percentage is ridiculous. I think his OPS has been above 900 every year of his career. Not sure about that, but there's some ridiculous stat like that. And if you trade for a guy like this, he not completes the Yankees, but he makes their team so much better. Probably the only player that could do that besides Shohei Ohtani. So obviously he's going to cost a ridiculous amount. And if you trade for him, I think you have to extend him. Although, I mean, do whatever you can. And I know the Yankees already, their name is already kind of in it, but I mean, that happens with everything. So I think if Brian Cashman really, really wants to do something, this is the move.